That makes me a little nervous. Having something like a dehumidifier isn't anything that I really thought too much about or thought about the importance of having a dehumidifier in your home. So in your house, one of the worst things that you can have is moisture being trapped within the house, trapped within the walls that could potentially lead to problems like mold. And no one wants to have to deal with mold and getting rid of mold in the house. So trying to prevent it ahead of time is definitely something that you should look at doing. And it's easy to help prevent it by using something like a dehumidifier. Now, our house, we actually have a dehumidifier like in the whole house that will kick on every once in a while. I don't really know exactly how it works because it was here when we bought the house. And our house is the type of house that sits up on a crawl space. So I know that it's important to try and get moisture out from underneath that crawl space. So that's probably doing its thing. So when I got this dehumidifier from the brand and when they sent it to me, I thought, okay, I mean, I'll put it in, but I can't imagine that it's going to do me any good because our house already has a whole dehumidifier. So I plugged this in and I'm going to show you some features of it. And I'm going to show you the results I have after it being on for just 12 hours. So first of all, let's talk about the features of this dehumidifier. And I'm so glad the brand sent this to me because it's been working pretty well. So first of all, it's a nice sleek size right here. It's not too big whatsoever at all. I have it currently in our bedroom because our bedroom sits above the garage. So there's probably like less like insulation since it's above the open garage. But it's nice. I like that it's black in this color. It has a nice appearance to it. It looks pretty sleek. It's really easy to use. So you just plug it in. You want to make sure that you have it on a flat surface. And then to turn it on, you just press the on button right here, and that turns it on. Now, I can hear the fan going. It's not extremely loud, but you can hear it going when it's on. And to me, it just almost feels like ambient noise, just like white noise. So it doesn't bother me whatsoever at all. You almost don't even hear it like after a few minutes. But the power button right there, and then it actually has a nice light right here, and you can change through the different colors of the light by circling through the buttons right here. It also, if you don't want the light on, especially when you're going to bed at night, there is a sleep button right here. So you can click on that and then it's going to turn the light off. So how this works is when it's on, you have the intake fans coming right here. So the air is coming into the house and it's doing what it needs to do to pull the moisture out of the air. That moisture gets collected. I'm gonna turn it off so I can show you right here in the back. And this is a little container right here. And by the way, when this starts to get full, you're going to be notified because the light up front is going to turn red. So that's an indication that you're going to need to empty this bin. But it has a fail-safe on here too. So if it gets too full of water, it's going to shut the machine down. So it's not going to continue. So you don't have to worry about it continuing to fill and then spilling out over top of onto the floor. But let me show you where this stands. Like literally I got this in the mail yesterday and I plugged it in yesterday afternoon, probably about 12 hours ago. And we have a humidifier in our house. Look at the water that is already in here. Oh my God. That makes me a little nervous. So this has already pulled out this much water being on for like a little bit over 12 hours in our house, and we have a humidifier. So I'm going to say this thing is working pretty darn well. I was shocked. But you can see how easy it is to pull this out, and then you can just take off the lid and empty the water and put it back on and put it back in right here. So I'm incredibly shocked. I'm a full believer that this is absolutely working as it should, and it is a great little device. So I would definitely recommend that if you're in the market for a dehumidifier for your home, I would recommend checking this one out. I'm so glad the brand sent this to me. I'm very impressed. We'll probably need to buy a couple more, maybe to put them in some other rooms as well, because we want to make sure we're keeping that moisture out of the room. And by the way, I should also tell you that we live in a very humid environment near the beach. So it also is extra important to try and make sure that we're pulling the moisture out of the air any way that we can. So thank you so much to the brand for sending this to me. 2 thumbs up.